What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I just want to talk about this LeBron James, man. And this to me was the last bargaining chip that LeBron James had. Right now, this his farewell tour, the father son retirement tour, in my opinion, is the last bargaining chip, right? And so the fact that Cleveland fans, and I just recently did a video about how Cleveland fans are not really enthused about LeBron James coming back to Cleveland. Not only that, some of them really don't even want him to come back to Cleveland, right? And so if this was his last bargaining chip, is things are not really looking too good for him. And so just think about, if Cleveland fans don't care about, the nostalgia of LeBron James retiring and then having his son on the team with him and then going around to from team to team and everybody, giving them gifts and paying homage like they did. I remember they did this for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the day. If that fan base really don't care, then that's not really a good look, like, for Philly. Like, Philly fans don't care because he don't have any connection to Philly. Golden State fans don't care because he don't have a connection to those fans. Laker fans, they wanted LeBron James they wanted him out of town. And so the last hope was for, or is for, Cleveland, right? And the thing is, Cleveland wants LeBron James. Well, the organization want LeBron James to come back. But if the fan base, like if they taking a poll, which they really not, I don't think they're taking polls, but when you have people calling into radio stations in Cleveland saying that they think that LeBron James is going to come back there and mess up the chemistry of the current team that they have. And some of the fans, again, are saying that they're not really enthused about LeBron James coming back. And so ownership and management have to be hearing these kind of things. And they was like, well, how much really is this retirement tour for LeBron James? How much is this really going to be worth? And that's, in my opinion, like I said, that's his only bargaining tool. He not coming to Cleveland to take them to the championship, right? He's not coming back to Cleveland, to make a deep playoff run or something like that. That's not going to happen. He didn't do it in Los Angeles, this past year, and so he's not going to be able to do it in Cleveland. The thing is, though, because of, like the relationship that LeBron James had with his hometown, the Cavaliers, and that fan base is not really all that strong. And going into retirement, if you can't get people to to be excited about your retirement, then what is your retirement going to look like? Because, and I'm gonna keep saying this because that is your, like, that's your lifeline. Your retirement, like your fan base, is something that should be able to tap into for the rest of your life, because throughout LeBron James' career, he was supposedly put in that work and just put himself in a situation where his fans just admire him, his fans adore him. And so anytime LeBron James come out and endorse something, or anytime he coming out and he's selling something, then his fan base, because they love and appreciate LeBron James, want to support that. But if they're not supporting him now while he's still in the league, and he's winding down, then it's not going to look good for LeBron James into retirement. It's not. And I can't. I've never seen somebody who of LeBron James' stature go through anything like this. I remember, like, and I said this in videos before. Larry Bird, when he was at the Boston Celtics, he was towards the end of his career, he was like a shell of himself, right? He wasn't, he was playing with injury. He had a bad back. He had like an Achilles, something was wrong, an Achilles injury that he was dealing with. And he used to, fans just because of all the great times and the great moments that he gave him, whenever Larry Bird could get in the game and show the, give a show up for a few minutes, man, fans appreciated that. But it's not the same way with LeBron James, Same thing with Kobe, right? Kobe, Kobe went out on it. He wasn't the Kobe Bryant of in his prime. And, he went out and the fans just supported him until the very end. Nobody was complaining about, Kobe Bryant, how much he's shooting the ball or any of this, man. Fans just knew it was winding down. And so when it's winding down like that, you appreciate as a player, you appreciate that this is it, that it's over with, that it's coming to an end. Fans appreciate fans feel like, man, we appreciate all the good times that and that we had with this guy and how much of a joy it was to watch him play. And but it's not like that with LeBron James. And so I think this is going to affect LeBron James in so many different ways in his retirement, as far as especially on the business side, right? If you can't generate any type of excitement for your retirement tour from your home team, from your hometown, that's not really looking good. It don't instill confidence from somebody like Nike. It don't instill confidence from like ESPN. It don't instill confidence with the NBA. Um, like ESPN can always bring Magic Johnson on a show, or anybody who want to do business with Magic Johnson. You know that when you do business with somebody like Magic Johnson, you're gonna draw a certain amount of attention. That's why like what's the baseball team over there? I think what's it the Dodgers. Like that's why Magic don't play baseball. And that's why the Dodger organization wanted him to be a part of that ownership team because of the leverage that he's well loved and respected in that town. So it only is good business to do business with somebody like that who has a fan base that he can tap into, and basically when you attach Magic Johnson name to something in Los Angeles, you're tapping into that fan base, right? When you attach Michael Jordan name to something, wherever you attach Michael Jordan name to, whether it's in Chicago or anywhere, you're tapping into a fan base that's just is you're going to make there's like a baseline, and you're going to get a certain amount of people to watch. You're going to get a certain amount of eyes, if he's on your show, or you're going to get a certain amount of, you're going to, like, if you're selling a product or promoting a service, that gives Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, those kind of guys, that gives them leverage because they are so liked and so beloved in their town or with their fan base. But LeBron James, man, people are not excited about in his hometown. And like I said, when you talk about Philly, those fans in Philly could really care less. And so if LeBron James if he can't come there and win, they don't care about a retirement tour with him and Bronny, because there's no connection between LeBron James and Bronny in Philly. Same thing in Golden State. And that's really all LeBron James have left. So if he go to Golden State, they're not gonna be challenging for a championship when you have the Spurs and you have OKC over there in the West. That's out of the question. I don't care what they say on ESPN. I don't care, what Brian Windhurst say. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith said. Those guys, man, Shannon Sharp, they know, that it's all about the fan base. And LeBron James missed the boat. He missed the boat when it's all about the fan base. And now that only way that people they're not talking about, and I get it, he 40 something years old. So people not really gonna be talking about like his basketball prowess at this point in his career as far as like taking somebody, but the nostalgia part of it, like this is when people should be appreciating him. And now you got fans saying they only want him back. Like the fans, when Michael Jordan was leaving the game, the fans were the last to say, you had other players. I remember other players when Michael Jordan was even after he was leaving the Wizards, and there was some whispers about Michael Jordan going to the Miami Heat. And I remember Shaquille O'Neal was down there. Shaquille O'Neal was like, no, not really enthused about playing with Michael Jordan. But the fans wanted to see it. You know what I mean? So diehard fans were like, man, are you crazy? Mike could help y'all. And Shaquille was like, no, we don't need that. So fans will be the last ones to give up on somebody who they love and appreciate, and so it is what it is, man. I just think they missed the boat, and it's going to show in so many different ways going into retirement, and it's going to affect his bottom line, and it's going to undercut him, and he's not going to have as much leverage when it comes to to doing business. It really is. That's where your leverage come from, your fan base. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I am going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.